a container-sized plasma reactor make green ammonia without Haber-Bosch and do it cheaply enough to disrupt fertilizer supply chains?
We are here to solve, basically completely flip the way ammonia has been historically produced. It's been produced through equilibrium reactions such as Haber-Bosch, which has all the possible problems that you can think of, like cost, extremely vulnerable to supply chain disruptions due to growing geopolitical tensions. And guess what? It emits the largest amount of CO2, which any chemical does.
Can you explain in kind of plain English what you're doing differently? How are you getting nitrogen and hydrogen to make ammonia without, using really high heat and pressure?
Yeah, so what we are using is it's a proprietary technology where we have used the power of non-thermal plasma, which means you generate an electromagnetic field.
Yes.
And you try to vibrate or excite the electrons in such a way so that they become reactive and they are willing to form bond with hydrogen and make the ammonia. But the bulk volume of this gas is still near room temperature and pressure. It's not at elevated temperature and pressure like that of Haber-Bosch.
So you're exciting nitrogen, if you like, to make
and
it
reactive. Electrons of the nitrogen to make them reactive rather than heating them at 700 Kelvin or 250 atmospheric pressure to break the bonds. We are not doing that. We're just exciting the electrons so that they become more reactive. So there are several pathways to produce green ammonia. Obviously, you can make green ammonia by greenifying the Haber-Bosch, but that because you need renewable electricity and which is generally intermittent. So green Haber-Bosch would need battery, hydrogen storage, and extra electrolyzers, energy storage systems. These systems makes their capex go higher, and that's why they are very costly. The other technologies which have come up in the recent years, like lithium-mediated, lithium is facing a huge challenge from the EV industry, so it's a scarce resource. And then there are other stability issues with lithium. The electrochemical ways of making this ammonia has also been tried, but guess what? You have to first dissolve this nitrogen into aqueous media, and then all the other reactions will happen. But that dissolution itself is very challenging because nitrogen is not that good, it's not very soluble in water.
Yes.
So they have the bottleneck at this stage one itself. Whereas we are not doing those things, we are directly converting the gaseous nitrogen or air into ammonia, so we don't have that problem. And at the same time, there are other companies who have tried to do this nitrogen to ammonia route through using non-thermal plasma, but they have faced the challenge in terms of they have first tried to convert the nitrogen into nitrates, basically oxidize the nitrogen, and then reduce it back to ammonia. They end up spending more energy and making the system more complex because first you are oxidizing and then reducing it. We are not doing that. We are directly reducing it to ammonia, and that saves a lot of energy. And they also have to produce the nitrate in an aqueous media, which means again there is some dissolution losses, which we are saved from.
What about the hydrogen? Where is your hydrogen coming from? Is there kind of electrolysis kind of facility kind of next door to your...
Yeah, so currently the hydrogen is coming from an electrochemical reaction from water. But having said that, in the growing world, as natural hydrogen and other cheap source of hydrogen starts coming in, we can very well exploit those resources. Especially natural hydrogen makes very interesting sense because other companies, it would be very difficult for them to capitalize on natural hydrogen because you will find these sources at very distant locations in very limited volumes. And guess what? You cannot place Haber-Bosch system over there because you need large system for Haber-Bosch to be economical. So we are very well placed for those kind of systems.
You can co-locate with that,
Yeah, and since we are not primarily dependent on nano catalysts and things like that, we can deal with those impure form of hydrogen which are very low cost but they are impure, which will otherwise render the catalysts of our competitors, which will render that ineffective. We don't have that problem because of the way we are doing. For us, the non-thermal plasma is acting like a catalyst for us.
So your colleague Shashi said that when you guys first started, you got this reactive nitrogen, but it wasn't like super efficient, and then you started using AI and a digital twin to kind of optimize things. Can you just explain how that works?
Yeah, so initially we were doing experiments to make work on this plasma and make this green ammonia, but we quickly realized that that's how people have been doing non-thermal physics, non-thermal plasma physics for the last so many years, and the progress has been very limited. So what we did was we understood that we knew the Google DeepMind team, and we knew that they were working on fusion plasma, and they were heavily using their AI models. So we got inspiration from there, and we started using physics-inspired neural networks and ML models to which understands physics, but they don't have the data. We were working on these experiments, and we were generating a plethora of data.
Yes.
So we trained these models with our reactor-specific proprietary data,
Yes.
and they learn the physics,
Yeah.
and that helped in optimizing this plasma at a blitzscaling space. Like earlier, something if would have taken 100 days, is now taking us few hours.
Yeah.
So it's a huge time-saving savior for us, and that way we have been able to really understand the complexity of plasma, and not only understand but optimize it for the for really reducing the price of ammonia at a substantial level.
What levers can you actually pull though? What kind of parameters can you tune? Is it like the voltage or the current or something? Or?
Yes, so in plasma, in every nanosecond, billion of reaction dynamics are changing, so it's very complex. But because of this AI layer that we have got in between, we have now understood what would be the ideal voltage, current, flow rate of the gas, what would be the ideal combination of these for a certain input flow rate or electricity or renewable electricity that you have right there at that point of time. So now that entire optimization, and that in real time, has become possible, which was not possible maybe a few years back. So we can play with our voltage, we can play with our current, we can play with our flow rate in real time and produce the most optimum green ammonia.
Your technology enables a more decentralized, modular ammonia production approach. Where does it make the most sense first? Who would be your customer? Would it be a farmer or a distributor or some kind of industrial user?
Yeah, so the modular decentralized units that we will be producing, it can be used at farm gate. It can be used as chemical plants which need ammonia as a feedstock, like pharma companies and so on and so forth. It can also be used for supplying the ammonia to cold storage industries, where you preserve the vegetables for a long time. So we are speaking with all kind of customers and their distributors. So it can be used anywhere. We started the company about a couple of years back. We had a very miniaturized proof of concept back then, and from there we have grown significantly, where now we have a demo unit where green ammonia is actually getting produced, and we are sharing that with our customers, potential customers, and people showing interest in us. And based on that, we got good amount of industry tractions in terms of pilot agreement offers and potential offtakes. And the next stage from here is to scale it up towards the pilot demo. Once we do that, we will start clocking the revenues from the orders that we had already been securing. It's a completely turnkey system, which means you can switch on and switch it off whenever you want. Unlike Haber-Bosch, where there is a warm-up time, we don't have those things. Which means we can directly match the dynamic profile of the renewable electricity, be it from solar or wind that's coming over there. And it's very easy to handle. All the plasma and the super complex stuffs, we have hard-coded them and we have put them in the back end, where we have solved those problems, and being able to, for the customer, it should be very easy. Just a switch of a button and they produce the ammonia.
So your cost target, when we spoke before, was around, I think you said $500 a ton, kind of levelized kind of cost. How achievable is that?
Yeah, it's quite achievable. We are already very close to that number, and given that is the manufacturing cost of ammonia today. But if you see, by the time it reaches the end customers, the prices are already higher.
Costs.
Exactly. So we are already matching the price of ammonia for the end customers, and hopefully with the blitzscaling pace at which we are progressing with our AI model, we should be able to even match the manufacturing cost of ammonia pretty soon. Just to give you a fact, the theoretical limit of fixating nitrogen using plasma, the energy required would be 2.5 times lesser than that of Haber-Bosch. So the potential is huge. It's just a matter of time before somebody reaches there pretty soon, and hopefully we will be the first one.